What's up, everybody? Hope everyone's having a good Thursday. Got a lot to cover in today's episode, including a classic crypto Twitter beef. I'll tell you who was involved, what went down, and who I declare as the winner. First, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button in the corner of the screen, and remember you can also skip around using the timestamps in the bottom description area beneath each video. Let's begin. Before we get to the markets, just also remember my altcoin pick will be in a couple days. We'll be featuring an altcoin, the low, medium-sized market cap altcoin. I do this about every 2 weeks. I'm very bullish on the coin. Remember the last one? This was Step App, and it did happen to go up 192% the 24 hours after I featured it. Here's where I featured it. It started May 12th, about 1 a.m. UTC time. It was at 10.5 cents. 24 hours later, it was at 31 cents. So hopefully this coin will have a similar reaction. Obviously, it's kind of asking a lot, 192%, but I am definitely very bullish on this coin. I haven't decided the day yet. I'll let everyone know, but it will be at some point in the next couple days. Let's begin. Markets, just flat action again. Not much going on. 29,500. Price action has just been fairly boring lately, but we got some interesting news. So the Twitter acquisition, not 100% related to crypto, but it looks like it's going to be complete here. So Elon Musk said yesterday he's committing fully $33.5 billion to the Twitter acquisition bid. So that's $6.5 billion more than he had previously committed. So that's a bullish sign. That means that he's fully committed here, and it looks like it's going to go forward. Additionally, this news here, so this looks like it's negative news about the acquisition, but it's actually positive. Twitter has agreed to pay a $150 million fine for illegally collecting and selling user data. So this is really actually kind of bullish because it shows that, okay, Twitter's kind of settling their old disputes, their old fines, they're getting that all out of the way, and hopefully it means the acquisition is going to close pretty soon. I don't really trade equities, but if I did, I'd be bullish on Twitter, and the Twitter stock was up 6% on the day. No surprise there. Let's move on to the crypto news here. This happened yesterday. I didn't cover it until today. Andressen Horowitz announced his new $4.5 billion crypto fund. Just a lot of money flowing in the crypto space. So they're the VC firm in Silicon Valley. Their crypto VC division was the best performing crypto VC division by far in 2021. And they just announced about a month ago they raised a $3 billion crypto VC new fund. And now they're raising an additional $4.5 billion separate crypto fund. So their total crypto investments going forward, $7.5 billion. A lot of money, a lot of profits to be made. So the $4.5 billion raised for this fund, $1.5 billion will be for seed investments, and the remaining $3 billion will be for venture investments. So I'm not sure what the venture, I guess that means more geared towards the pre-sale stage. So $1.5 billion will be in the very early seed sale stage. That's usually 6 to 12 months before a project hits exchanges. So venture investments are first at the pre-sale stage. That means the other $3 billion will be going to that stage, which is usually around 2 months, give or take, before a project hits exchanges. Their team's very excited. They're going to invest in all the usual stuff here: DeFi, DAOs, NFTs, games. That kind of money. You can't really narrow yourself down too much. And what else did they say here? So their portfolio, as I mentioned, it's like who's who of crypto: Solana, OpenSea, Avalanche, Phantom Wallet, Alchemy. And then just a couple days ago, I profiled that they invested in Adam Neumann, his new crypto startup. He's the founder of WeWork. He has a new crypto startup, Flow Carbon. They raised $70 million for that, and Andressen Horowitz was they were the lead investor of the $70 million total, and I liked how Adam Neumann is doing a private sale and a public sale. As I said, a lot of profits to be made. And VCs are great, but, we don't want them getting 100% of the profits. We want to mix it up, get the average investor, have them have a chance to make these profits too. So I liked how this Flow Carbon, that's Adam Neumann's startup again, Andressen Horowitz was the lead investor on. I like how they announced they're doing a private sale and a public sale too, to let the average everyday investor do their due diligence and potentially sharing the profits. And this is a sign here also, token sales I'm kind of bullish on. I don't know if it's Project Hydex token sale, but just the fact this is appearing in my CoinGecko news feed, crypto news feed. That's bullish. This wouldn't have happened a couple months ago, but token sales are showing up in there. I think that's a good thing. And, you know, as I've said, I think Bitcoin price action is going to remain relatively flat, go up a little over the next long time. So, you know, if you're happy just making a profit that's only marginally better than the S&P 500, then fine. Then just, you know, buy and hold Bitcoin. But most people, myself included, are not happy with that. We want higher profits. So, you know, finding the altcoin gems both before and after they've been on exchanges, and then getting involved in public sales. I think this is one way during the flat market, bear market, whatever you want to call it, is one way that investors who are fully into crypto can make profits. So I'm very happy these token sales are appearing in my mainstream crypto news feed. Let's move on. Kathy Wood, her ARK Invest, she has refiled for a spot ETF. She's joining up with 21 shares. That's the company that launched the Australia spot ETF a few weeks ago. And then they follow Grayscale, who a few weeks ago refiled their spot ETF application with the SEC. So, yeah, I mean, obviously we've been seeing a lot of these highlights, but it does seem like we're getting closer to finally having the SEC approve the spot ETF. They've approved the futures ETF, as we all know, not the spot. Kathy Wood said she's not quite sure why. I guess the logic would be futures ETFs cater to a more advanced trader. The SEC is saying, okay, well, we're not totally opposed to the Bitcoin spot ETF, but at this point, we only want the advanced, knowledgeable traders trading in it, which they would trade in the Bitcoin futures markets, whereas the spot ETF caters to a more novice, sort of amateur skill set investor. So the SEC in the past has been a little more hands-off there, but all indications are we are closer than ever to an approval, and that even if you're not planning on investing in the spot ETF, I do think this is one of the things, an approval from the SEC would be a tremendous, you know, bull market indicator. It would get a lot of, you know, positive price action. It would definitely, you know, get some positive momentum going in the markets. So that is something to pay attention to there. Moving on, Coinbase, they listed Sandbox. I was kind of surprised they actually hadn't listed Sandbox previously. They listed Axie Infinity and Decentraland, but they did not have Sandbox, which is the #1 metaverse token. So Sandbox, they were up 7% on the day. This listing was announced about 5 days ago, earlier in the week. So the weekly performance, Sandbox obviously outperformed Bitcoin, no surprise. Bitcoin was up 2% on the week. Sandbox up 15% just on the Coinbase listing, so that's good news there. Moving on now to the Twitter beef that I had mentioned. So last week, you know, obviously during the bear market, you're going to have tensions flaring. Crypto Twitter beefs are going to be a little more prevalent, I think. And last week I profiled the mini Twitter beef between Michael Van de Pope and Crypto, two European analysts. It stemmed from Crypto's seemingly overly optimistic predictions that Luna would recover fully and attain, I think it was a $100 price range target. Michael Van de Pope took issue with that. There was some sparring back and forth. Today's beef, it is similar. It's between, not Terra related, but similar status peeps. It's between Plan B and Ari Gold. So Ari Gold, he is the founder of Block Terra Capital. They're a Chicago-based crypto VC. They're one of the big ones, and Plan B is the pseudo-anonymous Dutch influencer / technical analyst who invented the famous stock-to-flow model. So the beef is about, here's the tweet here, you can kind of look at it. I'm not going to go through it all here. But basically the beef's about, so the stock-to-flow model, which Plan B invented, I believe in 2017, it was proven correct and accurate for a few years until 2021. The model had predicted that BTC would go up to 100,000. BTC peaked at 69,000. So Plan B admitted that, okay, the model, you know, is not accurate there. And then he actually went as far to say, okay, the model will not be accurate going forward. I am kind of detaching myself from the model. But then he changed his mind recently. Now he's saying the model is intact. He has said that the model does not account for black swan incidents. So the 2020 pandemic incident was a black swan incident. It doesn't account for that. So the fact that even though his model said 100,000 it was going to hit, Bitcoin didn't hit that. That doesn't count because it was a black swan event. And he is saying he's even sticking with the model's prediction that BTC will hit $500,000 in 2024. Yes, $500,000 in 2024. I mean, come on. Like, it's just not going to happen here. But he's sticking to it. So here was his tweet 2 days ago. It started the whole beef. Interesting poll results. 81% think Bitcoin stays below 500,000 over the next 5 years. My model predicts 500,000 plus average after the 2024 halving of Bitcoin, very similar to in March 2019 when I published the model, and BTC was below 4,000. Majority thought my prediction of 55K after the 2021 halving was crazy, blah, blah, blah. And then the 100,000 rad prediction in 2021, as I mentioned. So he's kind of sort of taking credit for BTC going up to 50, 60, 70,000 here, even though it didn't really have much to do with him, but I'll take credit for it. And then he's, as I said, he's sticking with his 500,000 prediction. And then he's kind of using a classic strategy here to get it on paper that he's predicting something very unusual, probably won't happen. So the strategy is pretty clear. If it doesn't happen, everyone forgets about this tweet here and you don't take any criticism. But if it does happen, then you got something on paper, everyone references it, and you're a genius. Just a classic strategy. Tried and true. Classic party cash. That strategy is. So let's see, back to the beef. Sorry, Paul. He's describing Plan B as the Terra IOTA XRP of Bitcoin predictions. It's good. I would amend it slightly. I would say Plan B is more like the Michael Saylor, Tom Lee, John McAfee of Bitcoin predictions. That's what I would say. So Tom Lee, this is the guy, he's just been quoted so much over the years. He runs the New York fund strat. He's predicted Bitcoin could hit 200,000 back in 2018. Every week he was quoted with some new outrageous prediction. Turned out to be wrong. Finally, crypto media kind of got bored with him and his predictions, and they don't quote him anymore. Michael Saylor, obviously famously predicting very frequently that Bitcoin will reach 1 million. It won't reach 1 million, but whatever. And then John McAfee, when he was alive, it was just constant 1 million, 2 million price of Bitcoin predictions by 2020, which obviously proved to be not correct. So between this beef here, Plan B, and Ari Gold, I would have to give it to Ari Gold. I just don't think BTC's reached 500,000. I got to give it to Ari Gold. However, the one thing I would side with Plan B on is Ari Gold has accused Plan B of being maliciously scamming and trying to just get retail investors just more into Bitcoin and buying more of it by using his price predictions. But in defense of Plan B, it doesn't really look like he's actually selling anything. I mean, here's his website here. He's not selling his stock to flow model. It's free. Anyone can look at it. He doesn't have like a trading course that he's trying to sell. The only thing he's selling is his hats and t-shirts here, which I saw on another podcast that somebody referenced. Plan B is worth $20 million. As of a couple months ago, so if he's worth that much, I don't think the t-shirts and hat revenue is really anything he cares about too much. So, I mean, if he's scamming, I don't really see what he's scamming for. He's not trying to just scam people into taking some kind of, giving him money or taking some trading class he has, because he doesn't have any of that. So that's the only comment article I'm not quite sure is accurate, but all in all, I would give that Twitter beef to Ari Gold. That's it for today. Be back tomorrow with a new episode. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Have a good day. Later.